Now move on from there and talk about United Breweries. This is one company that has managed to get an approval from the FIPB to raise money from Mauritius. Okay, we'll get back to that story in just a minute. We just joined on the line by the management of Dabur, the management of the company here on NDTV Profit with us, Mr. Sunil Dugal, as well as Rajan Verma, the CEO and CFO of Dabur India. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on NDTV Profit. Let's have a quick review of your results and I'll be back to you with our questions over here. Numbers coming in from Dabur much better than what was expected from analysts. Sales coming in at 742 crores, up around 23% or so from the same period last year. Net profit, this is the number that's come in significantly higher at 91 crores versus expectation of around 85 odd crores by analysts. Let me start by asking you this opening question. The company has of course come out and reported very good numbers, much better than what the market expected. What factors have contributed to this?
Well, a large part of the delivery in terms of higher profitability was on the back of higher margins consequent to decline in raw material prices, and we did not take down our end prices as a result of that. So the margin flow came down, and I think that was the single biggest contributor. There were some adverse impacts also in terms of cost. One was we spent more on advertising and promotion behind brand investments. There was a higher outflow on account of MAT consequent to the increase in MAT rates. There was also a lower other income because we sent a lot of cash for the film acquisition. But despite these factors, the margin improvement was so significant that a lot of it flowed down and gave us this close to 30% profit delivery.
Now, have you seen the margins increase in any specific segment or specific product category that you have, or has it been an across-the-board increase?
Well, the margin increase was across the board. I think in commodities which are more in the domain of petroleum derivatives, the increase was very high. Also edible oils. So it was secular, but I think there were areas such as sugar and honey particularly where we saw a significant adverse imbalance too. But overall, our commodity basket comprises of hydrocarbon derivatives and food products, and both these were pretty soft in the first quarter.
Okay, Rajan, let me go across to you. Let me ask you this question. The company has shown interest in acquiring a number of brands, Protein X for one and Flatix as well. What are any progress? I mean, where do we stand as far as that is concerned, and do we have any other further acquisition that you're looking at?
Well, we've always stated that we're always looking for brands, but nothing specifically has happened on the two brands that you've just mentioned. There are no specific talks going on for the acquisition of those brands for the time being.
Okay. And going ahead, do you have anything on your mind? Are you in talks with anybody? I mean, perhaps it would be good if you can share some information on what kind of a M&A schedule that you have, if you have one in mind.
Well, as I said, that there's nothing specific that I could report upon at this point of time on the M&A front. So nothing specific.
Okay, let me move on to the actual operations here. Advertising spending of the company has increased drastically in the first quarter of 2010. What do we expect going ahead? Do we expect the same in terms of ad spend, more or less?
Well, we have upfronted advertising spends in the first quarter on the back of investments in new products, new formats, etc. Going forward, while the ad to sales ratio would probably be marginally ahead of what we did last year, it would soften from what you saw in the first quarter. So we saw around a 15.5% ratio in the first quarter. Full year ratios are more likely to be in the region of 14.5 or 14, which is a little bit ahead of what we did last year. So we'll continue very high investment in our brands, and that is important to us to ensure robust top line delivery.
Now, one of the things that you're of course also planning is Ayurvedic skincare products. What is the status of that, and when can we see that actually coming out? Okay, Rajan, if I can ask you this, can you talk about the Ayurvedic skincare products that the company is planning to launch? What is the progress and when can we expect that to come out?
Well, the expected launch is something in the next quarter or so, and that should be in the market.
Okay. I mean, Rajan, let me just stay with you. Let's talk about oral care. This, of course, is a growing segment for you. Significant competition coming in from the global majors over here. Now, can you give us an outlook, kind of an idea of what kind of an outlook that you have for this segment?
Well, we've had the largest in the oral care. We've grown about 20.7 odd% in the toothpaste business. Oral care has been one of our mainstays, but I think as we move ahead, we're going to put in a fair amount of focus on the healthcare as a part of our ongoing strategy, and we shall see some more work going into that particular area, so that we also now move away from the pure reliance upon the oral care business, personal care business, and move into certain other areas as well.
Okay, Sunil. Now, internationally, can we talk about your company's international plans? How do you expect that to come out? I mean, do you have any specific markets that you're looking at expanding?
I can't hear that.
Okay. All right.
The international business has grown.
Carry on. Go on.
They've taken a break. The international business during the quarter grew about 52 odd%, and specifically we've had growths coming out of our core markets in the GCC area, Egypt. We've had growths coming out of Nepal and the Bangladesh business as well. So these have been our core growth areas in the international business in this quarter.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your comments and for joining us here on the show. We had Mr. Sunil Dugal as well as Rajan Verma of Dabur India joining us over here.